Thank you for joining me today. My name is Pamela and welcome to my vlog. Thank you so much for taking time to connect with me like this. It means the world to me and I appreciate both of us, or all of us really I should say, being a part of our journey together. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And please continue to let me know if these vlogs are being a blessing to you. So today I want to start kind of venturing down a road that has been on my heart and talk about taking action. We've talked about having vision and we've touched on action, but without a vision, people perish, right? But we also know that we are supposed to write the vision and make it plain or clear so that whoever is reading it can actually do it or run with it. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that today in relation to being in the season we're in. Most likely when you are reading, seeing this vlog, you're probably still sheltered in place or something along the lines of that. And at minimum, there is still a lot of limitations. So with regards to that, that's kind of where I want to jump in and say, where do I start taking action when I feel like I can't take any action? Like everything that I normally did, I can't do anymore. So where do I start to take action? So when for any person, okay, when they go through something that is somewhat, well, this is traumatic, what we're all going through. When we go through something traumatic or life-changing, and it changes the structure of our life without our willingness to have it be changed, when the structure of our life disappears or we feel like we've lost control of it, or parts of it or all of it are just changed without our permission, it makes a person, all people in their minds, feel like, wait a second, I feel a little violated here. I didn't get a chance to make a choice, and now my decision choices are being made for me. That's not fair. I mean, I have to be at home, or I have to go to work and I don't want to, or my work has been taken away from me, or now my children are home, or I have to wear this mask when I go to the store. I mean, it goes on and on as to what a person's thinking process can change and how it can be affected. But at the end of the day, when we lose that life structure and it's not because of our choice, and we think that and it feels like, man, my decision making has been taken away from me or removed, it makes any person feel helpless and sometimes even hopeless. And so what we want to talk about today is how do we remove that hopeless and helpless feeling? Because what I just shared with you makes it sound like this is the way it is. And so you're going to feel helpless and hopeless. But that's not the message I want to leave you with. But the reality is, when we lose that ability to make those choices on our own, we do end up feeling hopeless or helpless. I'll put it that way. We can feel really helpless, or maybe a better word even is powerless. Like, I don't have any power anymore to make the choices that I was making, whether I was going to go pick my kids up from school, or I was going to go to the store at such time, or meet some friends or family at Applebee's for dinner. These choices have all been taken from us. And we now are being overpowered, and not in a negative way, but all of a sudden we have the government, we have the medical community, etc., that are involved telling us what you can and can't do, or what you should and shouldn't do. Again, taking away from our feeling of making choices. Again, adding to the potential of feeling helpless and hopeless. So I want to now begin to turn it a little bit, turn the ship a little bit, pointing away from that helpless, hopeless thing. It is a reality, but there are things that we can actually do that can help us learn not just how to cope with this, but how to actually change our mindset so that we could begin to take the right action towards that vision and that purpose that we know we have in our life. Okay, so Number one, when things are lost, I have notes down here I'm looking at. I want to make sure I get them all to you the way that they should be. When we feel that things are lost and that things are out of control and we can't change them, it can create a feeling of panic, or it can or can create a feeling of depression where people just kind of like just quit, or they just kind of go into some type of I don't mean like a weird daze, but just have this giving up feeling, or there's no hope feeling, or which can cause a negative loss of drive in our life, or it can have the other uh, reaction where we just get into this panic and fear. Okay, what we have to do is begin to take the right steps to counteract that. And even in our situation, and no matter where you found yourself on that grid of what I just shared, if you'll just begin to take a little baby steps according to what I'm going to share with you, it's going to really begin to help you. So, what I found to be very helpful was I literally wrote it down. I got out 2 sheets of paper and I wrote down, what are some of the things happening right now that I can't control? And those were pretty obvious, right? I mean, like, I can't control the fact that that family members have been furloughed or businesses have been closed. I can't really control the fact that I can't go meet a friend, or my husband and I can't go out and have dinner together. I can't control the fact that finding toilet paper is not an easy task right now. But so I went through those lists of things and kind of just looked at them and let them. I wanted to see really if I just focused on them, how are they affecting me? But then I went and I got another sheet of paper and I wrote down, what are some things that I can control? Well, you know what? I can still control what time I get up in the morning. I can still control what I'm reading. I can control, for most extent, what I'm eating. I can control getting out my day timer right here, or my schedule, and actually writing out how I'm going to effectively use the day. There's a lot of things that I can make decisions on that I still have control over. And when I looked at that list and I let those things that I wrote kind of bounce back into my eyes and into my mind and my heart, I realized that there is this feeling of success that's connected to knowing that I do still have a choice to make, and that there are some positive steps during the day that I can still be doing something. So even though there's this big chunk of our life right now that you might feel you don't have control of, even if you can find something, it's a baby step of something that you can have control of. What that does is it builds a positive momentum in your brain, and it builds positive momentum in your life. This step of feeling like you accomplished something does miraculous things for self-worth and for your thinking process in general. Listen to this. Little progress on something, even if you make a little progress on something, it will absolutely boost your sense of self-worth. And I wrote that down. Even if you make a little progress on something, it will boost your self-worth. And that's really important right now with all the negative things that are coming at us. We have got to find ways to boost ourselves. Okay? Now, the other thing about this, you've heard me say baby steps, and I'm going to start to wind down. I don't want this to take too long. Baby steps. Schedule in fun every day. Could you do that? Whether it's a movie, whether it's a walk, whether it's reading jokes, I don't know. Schedule in something that you enjoy. Maybe it's a jigsaw puzzle. Schedule it in. The more that you can schedule, not in a regulated way, but the more that you can schedule right now, the more structure you add, the more accomplished you're going to feel. And from that point, then we can begin to launch into taking greater action. Let me just give you a couple of examples, and then we'll be done for today. So have you ever, well, I'm going to tell you this story first. True story. A gentleman that was an older gentleman in years, still very in good shape, and liked to be very independent, had a huge a big wired fence that went around part of his yard. And he really wanted to get it done. But he knew that even though he was in the shape and the condition that he was, getting it done quickly and handily wasn't necessarily something that was going to happen for him. He didn't want to spend all the money or get a bunch of people involved to get it done. So he quietly decided that he was going to take care of it himself. And every day, for however long that it took, he would go out into his backyard and clip off 3 to 5 pieces of the fencing, bring it back up the hill, and throw it away. After, I don't remember the amount of time, guess what? The entire fence was gone. His son came over and said, "Dad, where's the fence?" Dad said, "Oh, I got rid of it. I took it down, son." Well, his son was amazed. How did you manage to do all of that? And the response was, "Just one snip at a time." See, sometimes we just want to do everything right now, and we feel like maybe everything has kind of come in on us this way. Even if you will just take baby steps, like one snip at a time. Or how about the ant? Now, have you ever watched an ant? I'm not somebody that sits around and watches ants. However, I'm always quite amazed at the size of those ant houses. And you know that they are so super strong and pretty smart, actually. But they can build those by carrying that 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever grains of sand. But the ant, as an individual and as a colony, what they accomplish together is amazing. But it starts from that one baby step. Okay? So my challenge to you right now is to take those 2 pieces of paper, one piece, rip it in half, draw a line, make a column, and write down those things that you might feel out of control of. Okay? Address them, and then let's set that aside. Now let's begin to create a column or page or half a page of what you are in control of. And then let's take that and start to put it into some type of a schedule format. How can you utilize these things you're in control of to begin to give yourself a sense of accomplishment for the day? Here's an example. It could be that you listen to me today. You find something inspiring to listen to. You take time to, if you're writing a book, hey, if you just write 1 page a day during this time, or a half a page, you've accomplished something. I was listening to an author just the other day who shared that for years he didn't think he had time to write a book. He started writing 1 page a day, and I don't remember how many books he has now, 25 or something like that, but they've all come by 1 page a day. Okay, how about 10 minutes of walking or Pilates or I don't know, whatever it is, or yoga or whatever you do? How about 10 minutes of that a day? Spending a little time going over a to-do list. Maybe, I mean, I'm just giving you some different ideas, and I'm looking down here at my list of things that you could add in there. Maybe it's taking a nap when your children take a nap. I mean, it could be anything. Maybe it is sneaking out of your house and doing a little podcast yourself, and early in the morning or late at night. Find that list. It doesn't have to be huge. 3 things, 4 things, 2 things, whatever it is. This type of really psychology is what it is going to reverse any effect that crisis mentality that we have been put into. It's going to begin to reverse that effect, anything negative. You know, the Greek word for crisis includes the definition opportunity. And so I guess that's the nuts and bolts of it, isn't it? We can look at that page of everything that's taken away from us, and or we can look at the page that we're going to write that gives us some ownership back right now. And so we can choose to make opportunity for ourselves in this crisis, which sets us up to take action, which begins to move and plug us along in the right direction. So there you go. I hope this has been a blessing to you, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Blessings. Bye.